What is up, guys? I hope you're well, and welcome to r/idontworkherelady. If you enjoy the content, please consider hitting that like, that subscribe button, and maybe even that notification bell. And with that being said, let's get started. First post is by Angels and Tacos. I'm not a nun, but I will pray for you. I'm religious and I dress more modestly than I used to, wearing long dresses, and I do wear a head covering and a cross and my miraculous medal. So in some way I can sort of sympathise with anyone mistaking me for someone who belonged in a monastery. Anyways, I was at my local food store picking up some feminine hygiene products and cans of soup that was cheap because I'm sick and not feeling well. I heard, "Excuse me," from a woman about in her 40s. I responded, "Yes," and she said, "Sister, please pray for my family." I apologised that I wasn't a nun, but I would indeed pray for her. She said thank you, but then said I shouldn't be dressed so modestly if I don't want to be mistaken as a sister, and got a bit rude. I think that's going to be the end of it. Then she looks at my shopping cart and says, "Are you sure you're not a nun? You're buying a lot of cheap off-brand items." I just tell her that I like that brand of soup, and I'm a bit frugal. She then gets upset and tells me that I should be buying fancier food items and to leave the cheap stuff for the poor people. I replied that I wasn't rich, but would pray that she isn't so rude to people, and for her family, like she asked earlier. Never seen her after that, but I can say this is the first and hopefully last time I get mistaken as a nun. The next story is by Cuckoo Flowers. Earlier this morning. Backstory: Monday I received surgery to have a port catheter put in for my infusions that I receive weekly. I was given a pain prescription that I wasn't able to fill until this morning around 9 AM. Up until last night I was tolerating the pain by taking Aleve. I hope I got it right. But around 9 PM the pain was so intense to ignore anymore, so I went first to my local ER. The nurse said that they're not allowed to do anything since I did not have surgery there at that hospital, since the surgeon was not affiliated with the hospital. So my husband drove me to the hospital that I did have the surgery performed at, and they admittedly took me in to see what was wrong. Come to find out that I'm allergic to the transparent Tegaderm film that the surgeon put on the bandage to hold it in place. The nurse rebandaged my surgical wound and suggested items to purchase at the local Walmart to keep the wound dry and debris free. After being discharged, my husband drove us to the Walmart so I can purchase the items the nurse suggested. After getting the Nextcare Gentle paper tape, non-stick pads, Equate allergy relief and ibuprofen tablets, I was asked outright by someone I'd never met before where something was. At this point in time I was hurting and itching so much I would admit I was freaking rude to this person. The conversation went, "Dumbfounded man, can you help me find the box fans?" "I'm sorry, I don't work here." The dumbfounded man then says, "What is your name?" I'm a bit weirded out. "Cuckoo Flowers, why do you need to know that?" "No reason. Can you help me find the box fans?" "I already told you I do not work here." He then says, "I really need help finding the box fans. I know in fact you work here. You're clearly wearing a blue shirt and tan pants." I'm wearing a blue cami and tan capri. I don't know what it is. And a hospital ER bracelet on my right wrist. My new bandage plainly on the left side of my chest with pain and irritation on my face. I say, "Really? I don't work here and fuck off." By that point my husband walks around the corner and saves me from the dumbfounded man. My husband says, "Ready to go home? Cuckoo Flowers, you must be really hurting bad. Your forehead is sweating." I say, "Let's go. Since the pharmacy is closed, I will get the prescription filled at Walgreens. I don't feel good." Sorry it wasn't a flashy "I don't work here lady" moment, but I am finally not feeling any harsh pain, just a dull ache. Edit: to the ones wondering where I actually work at, the answer is at Tyson's food processing factory. The people are in HR are wonderful and understanding, as well as my own supervisors and line leads. They all have been very supportive after I found out about my genetic disorder that I have. Our next story is from Dat Boy Cardo. Confused guest. I'm new to reiterating stories and to this subreddit in general, but I watched a video on YouTube and this sub and wanted to share. To preface the story, I work at the front desk of a franchise hotel in a small town that has a restaurant in the same parking lot. Upstairs is fine dining, while downstairs portion is more of a sports bar and grill. My shifts are 3:11. Not to brag, but I'm head sales. That is a slight brag. And I usually take lunch over at the restaurant because of convenience. Unfortunately for this day, we were slammed, so for more than half of my shift I was non-stop checking people in and dealing with aggravated guests. I'm all by myself, and the person who's supposed to take over for me to take my lunch called in sick. Come to find out they just went to a party, so I'm looking forward to getting a time violation, because in California you aren't allowed to take a lunch a single minute after your 5th hour of working. However, I had no choice but to work through until my manager could come in instead of the other employee. Finally, my manager comes in, so I rush through my final check-in and clock out for lunch. Having that very heavy weight lifted off my shoulders, I walk as fast as I could to put my order in the restaurant, since the hotel's business flows into the restaurant, so they're probably just as busy. Note, I'm still in my fancy uniform with name tag that has my name and my hotel's name. As I walk up to the bar portion of the restaurant, where they have very different kinds of uniforms, they're more of a black button-up and jeans type of thing, someone grabs my arm as to get my attention. Mind you, I'm used to being mistaken as someone who works here, but it ends up being oh sorry, I'm with the hotel, not the bar, and I continue on my day. But for a busy summer day / night in my area, no one is as nice as usual. Me to the arm grabber. Sorry mum, but I'm just here for lunch. She says, that's funny, but would you be able to just sit us down already? We've been here for 5 minutes already. I then say, again, I don't work here, but if you sit wherever is available, I can get someone to help you with an order. She's visibly confused. If you don't work here, then why do you have a name tag? Now I'm a little confused because, although it does have my name on it, it also says the hotel's name. Mum, I work in the hotel across the lot and we're really busy. I need to put in an order before I'm late. She then says, well, you're on the same property, so you work here too. So please just seat us and get us our drinks. Even if I did work here, Mum, I wouldn't be able to wait on you considering I'm on lunch. She's now getting a little flustered because her son, around 8 to 10, is fussing around because he has to pee, so I point out where the bathroom is for him so he doesn't have to do the potty dance. How can you not work here if you know where everything is? I work over at the hotel and I come here for lunch every night, so I know my way around. Please just let me order and go back to it before I get in trouble. She just scoffs and starts walking out the bar without her son. I try to get her to at least wait for him, but she just ignores me and walks out and into her car, where all she does is sit there and stare at me like I'm the bad guy. I decide that if I hurry up and put my order in, then wait for the kid to finish in the restroom, I can still probably make it back to the front desk before I'm late back to work. The bathroom doesn't have too many stalls, so I figure he won't take too long. And I don't just want to leave because I've been in a situation where I'm in a strange place and can't find my mum, so I ended up waiting 10 to 15 more minutes. I'm guessing it was a number 2. Oof. He eventually gets out and looks confused when he can't find his mother, so I walk up to him and explain that she's waiting in the car while walking him to the exit and point out where she was. All she said was, thanks, then peeled off. I ended up being only 2 or 3 minutes late, but at least the little guy found his mama. The restaurant was busy as I figured, and since I'm a regular, they didn't finish my order until they knew they could give it to me. Hot and ready to eat. I'm not too happy that I had to wait even longer, but whatever, the food was amazing as always. P.S. Sorry for it being so long, but I wanted to remember most details so you could really feel like you're the one remembering it. Thank you for reading if you made it all the way through. Next story we have from Brush Shrike. Lady thinks I work at Disney because I was trading pins with my daughter. So my family is very fortunate to live close to Disney World. Every year when they have Florida residents 4-day passes, we go. This year my daughter and I decided to try pin trading. Our first day we stopped outside of the entrance to Disney to use the bathroom. I waited outside with my 2 daughters, 3 years and 6 months, and decided to practice how to do pin trading with my 3-year-old while we waited for my husband to come out. Let me also say that I looked nothing like how the cast members at Disney looked. I had a Winnie the Pooh tank top on, black shorts, a Disney lanyard with pins, and on my back, an ITA bag full of pins I didn't plan on trading. I also had 2 strollers in front of me. No one should have mistook me for a cast member. After doing some mock trading with my daughter, a little boy probably around 8 asked to look at my pins. I showed him the ones on my lanyard, since I keep all my pins I want to trade on there. He didn't seem too interested in the pins on my lanyard, but soon noticed my ITA bag. Can I see those pins? I say sure, but I don't want to trade these. I show him the pins in my bag and say again how I don't want to trade those. He soon spots a Nightmare Before Christmas pin that's actually my husband's. My attempt of trying to get him into pin trading too. The boy says, I want this one! I'm sorry, that one isn't mine to trade. You can pick any of these. I motioned to my lanyard while trying to keep my 3-year-old from running off into the park. I soon noticed the kid's mum coming towards me. I was a little relieved, hoping she would pull him away from me. The mum says, "Oh, you're trading, how fun." The boy says, "Mum, I want that one and she won't trade with me." Well, she has to, it's Disney rules. At this point, my anxiety had taken over. At Disney, the cast members have to trade their pins with anyone who asks to trade. Other guests do not. I sigh, trying to calm myself down. I then say, "The cast members have to trade, but I do not. He can trade one of these on my lanyard, but my bag holds the pins I do not want to trade." The mum then says, "You're not an exception to the rule. Trade with my son or I'm going to report you to your manager." I say, "Do you seriously think I'm a cast member?" "You were just trading with that little girl, so it's obvious you are." "I was just practicing trading with my daughter." The mum says, "Wait right here, I'm going to go and get your manager and we'll settle all this out." I didn't say anything, I was so dumbfounded. I'm here struggling with a 3-year-old and a baby and she thinks I'm working. All I could think is, maybe she didn't actually think that. Maybe she was just trying to manipulate me to trade with her son. I don't know. My husband came out of the bathroom before she came back. I wasn't going to sit there waiting for her. Lucky Disney is big enough that I didn't see her for the rest of the day. I'm still so confused, but at least it didn't get violent and I was able to enjoy the rest of the day without anyone else thinking I was working there. God, that was a bit entitled parent at the same time. Double bubble, juicy. Next story is from Fib Chopkin. Crazy Lady and Base Exchange. Oh my glob. After years of lurking on this site, getting indignant on others' behalf, chuckling and marvelling at the audacity of some people, for the first time in my life, I have a I don't work here lady story of my own, and it's a doozy. I am ex-military, and my husband, whom I met while serving, is still in, a lifer. On most military bases, a company named AFES has stores which range in size and type from small convenience shopettes / gas stations to large department store style shops called base exchanges, NEX, PX, BX, MCX for short, depending on the branch of service of the particular base. Exchanges are tax free and most offer merchandise at a discount from regular MSRP. The exchange nearest where we are stationed now is huge and has makeup counters, brand name clothing and shoes, and sells a lot of really expensive designer stuff at a huge discount. I tend to go in every once per month or so to get my makeup or things like new shoes or work clothes. This afternoon I decided to pop in on my lunch break and see if they had a particular size of hiking boot for an upcoming camping trip, and as I pretty much always do, I stopped to drool over the Prada and Louis Vuitton bags on sale, still way up in the thousands. I was in my business casual work clothes, beige slacks, white blouse, navy blue cardigan with my work logo sewn on the left breast and nude flats, which is fairly similar to the way the floor employees at the store dress. I was gazing. This very loud and interestingly dressed woman shouted, "Excuse me, ma'am." The ma'am part was extra emphasised weirdly, so maybe she'd just been trying to get my attention before and I hadn't noticed. In any case, the tirade she unleashed when I turned around with a smile and said, "Yes," was truly insane. She started out loud and proceeded to get louder and louder as she told me she'd been trying to get someone to unlock the sunglasses case, the next apartment over, for hours. Doubtful. She asked me if I thought my time was more important than hers and steamrolled right over the top of every sentence that came out of my mouth when I tried to interrupt her and let her know that I didn't work there. For a few minutes, I let her scream and goggled at her crazy outfit. Very bright neon top paired with electric purple leggings, very unkempt looking hair and grungy flip-flops. After a few moments, I just assumed that a person with a mental issue had wandered in, so I said okay and turned and started walking away. She screamed, Okay, and I heard her start moving towards me at the same time as I saw an employee with a very visible black plastic name badge pinned to her shirt coming towards us quickly on the left. I turned around to face the crazy woman and stepped back immediately. The nutjob was physically reaching out towards me as she was coming. She made a grab and the exchange employee got there and asked, "What's going on over here?" The nutjob started ranting again and I calmly said to the lady, I tried to tell her that I don't work here, but she seems pretty crazy. Crazy Lady started screaming about me being rude, threatening to call MPs, military police. I looked at the employee and said, "I'm really sorry, you have to deal with this psycho, but I've actually used up most of my lunch break and need to go." Crazy Lady started yelling, "Don't let her go, I want to talk to her manager, she needs to be fired, this is discrimination." The employee called for someone that sounded like Jared on her walkie-talkie and asked me to stay put. I'm sure she was as confused as I was and wasn't sure if I actively done something to the woman or what. I stayed put. The employee asked the crazy lady to please calm down and tell her what happened. The crazy lady quietened down a bit and began telling the woman loudly, but at least clearly and not screaming, that she had just been trying to get my attention to unlock the sunglasses case, and then I ignored her, tried to talk over her, and then walked away. She was telling the employee about my terrible customer service, and I probably wasn't helping her because I was racist, when the employee very nicely said, "Ma'am, this woman doesn't work here." The crazy lady actually shut up and looked completely gobsmacked. I said, "I was trying to tell you, but you wouldn't let me say anything, you just kept yelling." Crazy lady looked at me and said, "Well, you're still probably a racist." I said, "Okay, I really do need to go back to work now," and walked away. The manager caught me as I was leaving and offered me a nice 40% coupon and an apology. I took the coupon, but told her she didn't owe me an apology. It's not her fault a crazy lady decided to go shopping today. Oh my word, they're everywhere. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode of I Don't Work Here Lady. If you did, please consider hitting that like, that subscribe button, and maybe that notification bell, and we'll get more out soon. Much love guys, take care now, goodbye.